If you're earning well but still feel like peace is out of reach, well, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I paid off $115,000 worth of debt while building a six-figure investment portfolio. So if you're ready to protect your peace and grow wealth, this is the place to start. Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shiga Ma'at. I'm a financial coach and the founder of Jama Wealth Financial. I help you keep more cash in your pocket so you can position it for wealth and create a life of freedom and ease. So before we jump in too deep, I want to take you back to when I was making $33,000 a year and I had one goal in mind, and that was to hit six figures. I just knew that once I started making six figures, I would be set. I'd be able to buy the house that I wanted. I'd be able to use my money the way that I wanted. I just thought life would be easier. And then I finally made six figures. But instead of peace, I felt more pressure. You see, no one talks about the emotional pressures that comes with making more money. I didn't have boundaries with my spending or with my family. So every time someone needed help, I gave it, even if that meant taking money out of my emergency fund. But see, that thought pattern did something to me that was unexpected. See, because I was giving money to family, what that ended up is that I started developing this feeling of like, well, let me go ahead and spend my money, because if I don't spend it, then someone's going to be in need and I'm going to give that money to them, and then I'm not going to be able to enjoy it. So it created this cycle of overspending. I essentially was a shopaholic, like new packages showing up to my door almost every single day. And I didn't even realize that pattern was draining me emotionally and financially. I was racking up credit card debt, essentially trying to afford things because I didn't have the money to pay for it. And that landed me in a debt cycle. And honestly, the problem was I had no plan. I had no clear thought process of how I was using my credit cards. It was just, I wanted it. If I could afford the payment, I got it. Here's a trap with credit cards that I fell into, and I'm seeing a lot of high achieving women also fall into the same pattern, is thinking that using credit card points, that they're somehow winning and they're getting a great benefit from it. And what you need to realize is that while yes, you can get good benefits from your credit cards, if you are using your credit card and not paying that balance in full, you are essentially paying the banks more money than you would normally do if you just pay that item off, right? That's how the banks want it. They want you to spend time paying off that debt because they get more money in terms of interest, and you're paying sometimes double, triple times what you paid for a particular item. The thing is, this really didn't dawn on me. It wasn't until I came back from a trip to South Africa where I was paying off yet another credit card because I had used this card to finance my trip. And coming back, I'm like, oh my gosh, like here I go again. I'm creating another debt payoff plan. And it was so frustrating because the thing is, I was good at paying off debt. I knew how to create a debt payoff plan. I knew how to get out of debt, but it was always this constant cycle of racking up the debt, and then I get a nice chunky paycheck or bonus and I'd throw all that money on the credit card, but then later on I'd return right back into that same cycle. But I reached my enough is enough point, and like clearly making six figures, like it shouldn't be this hard. I shouldn't be making this much money and still having to deal with credit card debt. And the shift for me really was trying to find a better way of how can I utilize my income in a way that's actually building for me. And so I started focusing on how I can increase my net worth. I remember Googling, how do you build wealth? And one of the things that came up was tracking your net worth and understanding your true financial picture of what wealth is. But the true thing that helped me on this journey was setting boundaries. Boundaries with myself, boundaries with my family. It was essentially a tool that allowed me to figure out, okay, if building wealth is the thing that I want to do, how can I create a plan that will get me there? And how can I stop the things that continue to get into my way? So I had to look at, okay, if building wealth was something that I wanted, then paying myself first was something that I needed to do. I needed to be able to save money to build my freedom fund. I need to be able to put money into my 401k plan and prioritize that first so that I can make that change in my finances. And essentially what it did was gave me a way to live life the way that I desired. You know, one of the things I love talking about, how everything's connected, from your emotional health, your physical health, your financial health, all of it's all connected. And one of the things that I did on my journey was getting a therapist, understanding my mindset and behaviors, the patterns of things that showed up in my life that impacted my finances. Another thing was being able to say no to family. and understanding that if I am unable to give money as a gift, then I couldn't afford to give at all. So essentially, boundaries helped me move from reacting to life to leading my life in the direction that I desired for it to be. And once those things were in place, like, it was a game changer. Things essentially started to line up in place simply because I put in boundaries for how I wanted to live my life. And I want to say this because it's not an easy thing, like, especially when you're dealing with family. And if you're especially that go-to person in your family and they know that you're making more than them, and so you've almost essentially have been this crutch to them, setting boundaries with family members, there may be some upset, right? They may feel like, okay, you're taking away something from them that you normally gave freely. And part of that is having a hard conversation of how you are putting boundaries into place and why. And let me just say this. You don't owe anyone any explanation, right? It's your money, it's your finances. And yes, even family members need to understand that. You know, one of the boundaries that I had to set with my family was I made it clear to everyone that, hey, I am on a debt-free journey. I am trying to build wealth. And so while I'm on this journey, there may be things that I may not be able to support with. And some people understood, some people didn't. And that's really what it comes down to. So it's going to be hard, but you have to understand that in the long run, you helping yourself will essentially help you to help your family in the future as well. And there's another boundary that I also had to let go of, because I used to follow the guru who used to tell me, oh, you have to pay off all your debts before you can start investing. And that was a struggle for me because, you know, once I started learning about what it takes to build wealth and, you know, the importance of investing and the importance of time with investing, I had to set a boundary for myself in that while, yes, I'm going to pay off debt, I also want to make sure that I'm building my future. And so what that looked like for me was paying myself first. I made sure that I was putting money aside to build up my freedom fund. I was participating in my employer's 401k plan so that no matter the amount, no matter how small it was, I was putting something away so that as I was paying off debt, I was also building up my future at the same time. And that simple mindset shift of just starting small to build allowed me to pay off $115,000 worth of debt while building that six-figure investment portfolio. Freeing up that income really gave me more control so that I could actually position it towards the life that I desire. And so a big part of protecting your peace is you being able to prioritize yourself and your finances. Because like I said, in the long run, you're helping yourself, but then now you may be in a better position to help your family as needed. For me personally, it gave me more mental clarity. It gave me the option to pivot after losing my job. So now I can focus on building my business and honor your boundaries at that. So here's my challenge for you this week. I want you to pick one boundary that you can set up, whether that is setting up automatic transfers to your savings account, whether that is saying no to a family member and being okay with that. But whatever you decide, I want you to choose one boundary that you can implement this week so that you can start seeing progress towards your finances. As I recap, I want you to understand that setting boundaries is a way for you to protect your peace, right? It is not a way to punish those around you. It's not a way to punish yourself. It's a way for you to be able to put these parameters into place to build the life that you desire. So if you're done feeling stretched thin and you're ready to start seeing progress, it starts with boundaries. And if you're ready to make this a real thing within your life, I invite you to one-on-one coaching. This is where I help you walk through my signature framework to move through how to set up boundaries, how to create a vision for your life, and stop feeling stuck and start making progress with your finances. So click the link in the description on how to apply. And if this video resonated with you, remember to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell so that you can get notified when I post new videos like this. Remember to also follow me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Threads. And until my next video, here's to your financial freedom.